How are you, tubers, doing? I'm Master J, and we've got a great video for you today. Do subscribe, hit the notification bell, smash like, and maybe wear a hat, a little hat, and maybe go to a small French village and learn to ski. But most of all, subscribe. So we're going to start today's video.
The 10th most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
James Corden. In 10th place, James Corden. He could have been my number one. I mean, even though don't really think of him as that, I've always thought of him more as a number two. He is an amazing talent though, I don't want to disrespect. He's an amazing talent, yeah, because he can make any show worse just by being in it.
The 9th most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
James, not Corden, James Michael Tyler, appearing in the show on Zoom. This is James Michael Tyler, who played Gunter, who was in 148 episodes, iconic Gunter, and he appeared in the show via Zoom. It must have cost far too much to get him to come into the show, but they paid for Thomas Lennon to come in to do the show in person, and he was only in one episode as Joey's identical hand twin. Now, for the record, James lives in Hollywood, and the show was being filmed at the Warner Brothers studio, which is in Burbank, Los Angeles, California, which is about a 20 minutes Uber drive from where James Michael Tyler lives. And they got him to do it by Zoom. I'm guessing what must have happened was that day there must have been some sort of Uber surcharges, and they worked out that paying each way for him to come and do the show, it would have just cost more than the $40 a day they were used to paying James Michael to appear in the show. Although he was originally paid $40 a day, by the end of season 1 he was getting $5,000 per episode he was in. In total, James Michael Tyler earned $2.48 million. The Zoom call itself was only about 10 seconds. I think the only reason the producers got him onto this show was so people at home could look at him and go, wow, Gunter looks different, doesn't he?
The 8th most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
Jenifer Aniston was not the last person to walk onto the set. She should have been. They had this setup where they had each member of the cast wandering on one at a time, but they didn't have Jenifer as the last one. They should have done that just as a kind of Easter egg to the fans of the show, because Jenifer was famous for always being late, always holding things up, everyone always waiting for her. He actually got to a breaking point where the cast and the crew had an intervention led by David Schwimmer. But how frustrating must that be for Matthew Perry? They had an intervention for her tardiness. Whereas Matthew Perry, he had an addiction to drugs, there was no intervention for him. Matthew Perry had an addiction to alcohol, there was no intervention for him. Matthew Perry had an addiction to emergency dental work, and not one person stepped up to help.
The 7th most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
Matthew Perry. I hadn't seen him for a long time. It was very sad to see how he was in this show. Bit of a shock, obviously, because I'd not seen him for a while. The part that made me feel annoyed was it brought home that they're not going to make any more episodes of Friends. They can't, because Matthew Perry can't play that character anymore. The only way they could do it is if they maybe got Matthew Perry to swap roles with smaller part. Maybe he could swap roles with Gunther.
Hey, Gunther, have you seen Chandler?
I thought you were Chandler.
The 6th most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
That they ignored what Matthew Perry has gone through. I felt like they could have addressed it, and it could have been for the good. I mean, he could have become like our generation's Zammo Maguire, Just Say No. Zammo Maguire was the face of the UK version of Nancy Reagan's war on drugs. Matthew Perry was so quick, connected and brilliant in the series that it just kind of heightens my shock and sense of loss at his transformation. I mean, imagine if Matthew Perry was the poster child for a sort of war on drugs or alcohol addiction. It could do a lot of good, and I am being serious about that. Even though I have never drunk myself, I've never done drugs, it made me actually want to go out and start doing drugs and start drinking just so I could give up and make myself a better person.
The 5th most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
that the producers thought we would actually believe them that Matthew Perry's appearance and performance was due to him having emergency dental work. And this is the last one about Matthew Perry, I promise you. Some fans at home speculated that Matthew Perry was so embarrassed by his addiction-riddled teeth that he'd had them whitened, and that's why he was slurring his words and his face was slightly lopsided. Anyone who saw Perry on the UK chat show Graham Norton in 2016 will know that speculation about his appearance, him slurring and whether he's had a stroke or had an addiction relapse, is hardly new. And while we're on the subject of Matthew Perry stories that annoyed me, because there's been quite a few, Kate Harrelson, the 19-year-old girl or model, she went on this celebrity dating website and she asked to be matched with men who were older in their 50s, and then she got matched with Matthew Perry, and then she outed him and she started calling him creepy. That annoyed me. They are both adults, they both chose what they wanted. But the good news is in the footage, Matthew Perry does not slur his words, so maybe they could do a remake. As long as Matthew does all his lines to hot 19-year-old girls, he'll be fine.
Do you always play with your hair this much?
I guess so.
2 days after the broadcast of the Friends reunion, Matthew Perry's fiancée broke up with him. Come on, Molly. He was not cheating on you. You were on a break.
We were on a break!
The fourth most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
The clips of fans saying how the show had changed their lives, how they got through a difficult time by watching Friends, how it had cured their cancer, how it helped them find their pet. I mean, it's fine for fans to post stuff like that, but when the producer of the show itself puts it into a show like this, it just feels wrong. Yeah, I had a tough childhood. Very tough. You see, my right-sided toes, they were on my left foot, and then my left-sided toes were on my right foot. And no one at school knew. No one at school knew, but there was such shame. I felt such shame. I felt guilty trying to keep this a secret. Felt like I had no one I could talk to. I just felt so alone. And the only thing that got me through it was the YouTube channel Original MCW. I mean, just watching those clips, it just kind of made me feel like somebody understood. It's like when he dressed up as Anne Frank and then he said stuff. Yeah, or when he put the mop on his head, and then he thought he was being funny, but he was being cringe. It wasn't funny at all. I think that's the only thing that actually got me through this. Original MCW, the YouTube channel, saved my life.
So, do you still have the wrong toes on each foot?
Well, no. You see, what I did was I was looking at my toes in a mirror.
What? I don't think a mirror even... you're looking at your toes and not your feet in the mirror.
Yeah. So, you think I'll be in the video?
I think so.
Yeah? Haha, great. And can you let me know when it'll drop? Because I want to share it on Instagram. And while we're on the subject of the channel, that's Original MCW. And just quickly before we get to the top 3, if you enjoy this content, we've got over 100 videos like this dropping before the end of the year. So do please subscribe. We're a new channel, so it really does help us. So do subscribe if you can, if you enjoy this sort of thing. Also hit the notification bell when you subscribe. That'll help you know about when the videos do drop. Smash like. And while you're here, in the comments below, why not let us know what you thought was the most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show?
The third most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
The celebrities in it that had nothing to do with the show. Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, David Beckham, Mindy Kaling, BTS. I mean, more like BS. There's no way this guy has a clue what's going on.
The second most annoying thing about the Friends reunion show.
The bloopers. What a waste of time. They're great fun to watch, but we've seen them. We've all got them on our box sets. We want to see more of the reunion show.
The most annoying thing in the Friends reunion show.
The producers saying the show wasn't long enough to fit in more appearances from fan favourites. Paul Rudd or Cole Sprouse, who played Baby Ben, Bruce Willis or Hank Azaria, or Paget Brewster, or Jane Sibbett, Ross's first wife Carol, Ashley Tyler, the girl both Joey and Ross dated, Christina Applegate, Rachel's sister, Giovanni, who played Phoebe's brother so brilliantly. Instead, we get fashion shows. Celebrity Vox Pops, old blooper reels we've seen a million times before, and James bloody Corden. To me, it's just annoying they didn't cut all of that out and instead use the time to have more of the old cast members on, or crew. They could have had runners from the show, they could have had designers from the show, they could have had video. Instead of Zoom, they could have had video, pre-recorded video of people who couldn't make it, and you could have got a much fuller picture of the full cast of characters throughout the show's run. You'd still have more time to spend with the 6 main cast members as well. Well, nobody told me the reunion was going to be this way. Well, okay, so I should say that I do think Friends is a great show, and I actually did enjoy watching the reunion just to remind myself of how good the show was. I just came up with a list of 10 things that I found annoying about it. So thanks for watching. Do subscribe. So how YouTubers going?